Go over a couple things today. We're going to go over Bitcoin. We're going to go over AMC. We're going to go over TLRY. We're going to go over Apple. We'll go over the market in general. So today in Bitcoin, we did have, a rather large sell-off again. We can look at the hourly. So yesterday, I did say right here, this doji candle, that if we had a price close below it, that we were probably going to go lower. And we had a red two below a red one below this. And it was also closing below this red nine. So that signaled, a potential sell-off. And I did say yesterday that, this area right here, I drew the Fibonacci to show it that, 45, that'd be strong support. And it was, we went a little bit below it, 44,888. And today, this is 3 days of red, but we did start going down. There was a rally. I can go over that trade that I talked about yesterday where we had this sell-off. We were negative. So we had a 6 here in the right around in the morning yesterday. And then we had this large sell-off, and I'd seen this. This is panic selling. And we had an RSI that was negative. So I was expecting a good probability that we would bounce. I was hoping that we would bounce enough to get, back above this 30 MA on the hourly, but we didn't. And whenever I saw this kind of falter, even on the 4-hour, right here, because this 30 MA on the 4-hour was acting as support. It's been acting as support pretty much February, kind of here as well. And we had I said if it closed below it, we'd probably get a larger sell-off, and we did. So, I'd enter position there, made about 10%, exited once we closed below, actually I'd exited earlier, around, 54. It was like a 10% return. But I said you could exit if you had entered, on this candle, your exit would have been here because that would have signaled more of a sell-off. We did get lower prices, but our indicators trending up. So that's actually an early sign of bullishness. You can look at it here too. So we had the 9 on the 4-hour. We had our indicator go negative. It's kind of the same setup here, even though we didn't get a 9 here. But we were negative on the RSI. We had aggressive selling whenever we were kind of already based on the TD sequential, we were already kind of oversold. We had an RSI that was oversold. Price did jump, but this is, indecision. You can kind of see this is like, I don't know, like a barcode, right? So this is like up, down, up, down. So this is kind of indecision, kind of the market making a decision on if we're going to go higher or if we're going to go lower. Our indicator's trending up. I think our CMF is also trending up. It is, as price went lower, which is good. So on the daily, we retested this 49.7. I can take that off my chart. We did print 9 here. I'm going to keep that there because we could, come lower and then retest this area with a green number, and that would be a nice area to kind of get a bounce. So, yeah. So, like I said yesterday, we could. I drew this Fibonacci to find an area for potential support. We kind of found support pretty much there. I said we could wick below it. I wouldn't be much concerned. This weekly close is also going to mark the monthly close. As I said yesterday, if we close above 40,000 on the monthly, I'm going to go ahead and say we'll never see Bitcoin price below 30 again. And as I said yesterday, kind of technically based on past price action, we wouldn't see Bitcoin below 40 again, and that if we got to this lower area and that we wicked, that would probably be perfect buying opportunity. Since we did sell off today, I kind of did buy at this lower level. I think 46.9, 46.8. I didn't catch the exact bottom because the move was so aggressive. Kind of just had a buy set up. Kind of in this 9, whenever I saw this 9 print early in the morning, I had set a buy because price had already, let's see, when was it exactly? Price had already started to rise whenever I had seen it. So this is 2 o'clock. I think it was right around 4. 23rd. Somewhere around, yeah, because there was the 9 here, and then I waited. And then we had this candle right here. And I believe I had set a buy because it had already run up to the high. So I set a buy right around, it was like 46.9. Anyway, somewhere around here, I had gotten in. So, price rallied and looked smart. And then we started selling off again. But we're getting some consolidation. Again, I think I wanted consolidation. So if we get consolidation here for a couple of weeks, that'd be nice. We get, some reset of the indicators. Right now, we'll see if we get a bounce like we did on the daily here. And price goes up, but we can get consolidation and break below the 70, maybe wick a little bit lower to get back here. But as of right now, on the short time frame, there's some indication that we could be going higher if price closes above this 30 MA, which is at 49,650. Say, we can have some short term bullishness, maybe to bring us back up to 52, 53. And then we see what happens. So let's go over Apple, though, because it was brought to my attention today by one of my buddies. So I was like, I'm going to look at it. Maybe there is a short-term trade on the table because long-term, the trend for Apple is down. These moving averages are starting to turn down. Not saying that, Apple's going to fall, but initially, I look at it all weekly. We're kind of trending down. But let's see if there's something on the 4-hour. Whenever if someone says something to me or asks me about something, the very first time frame I actually bring up is the 4-hour. I look to see if there's a 9 because whenever I trade options, my strategy is actually based around the 4-hour. So I'm looking at this. The market opened. We had a large sell-off. We can look at the hourly, and we can look at the RSI, and we see that here, large sell-off, negative. Not negative on the RSI, below 30. And then here, yesterday, whenever the market closed, it was already below 30. And then we had this massive sell-off. Again, the majority of the trading happens in the first and last hour of the trading day. So this is all, this is fear, right? This is people selling. That Warren Buffett saying is be fearful when others are greedy, or something like that, or be greedy whenever others are fearful. It goes something like that. So I'm being greedy, right? I see that price is selling off, or on the RSI is trending down. Let's see what the CMF says. The CMF, I believe, was trending up. So yeah, we had this bullish divergence that I talk about all the time. So we have a trending up indicator. We have the RSI that's oversold. We have a TD9. We're already overextended based on that. And then now we have this reversal candle. So whenever it sold off, whenever it was selling off, I'd actually put in a buy at, what was it, like 21.50, because price had kind of already recovered. And I was like, okay, I'm going to put in a buy. I think I actually got in somewhere like 2 hours later, like at 10:30. And then, I'm like, okay, so what's my target if I enter, right? So it was 21.50. My target is 25.60, right? So that's about 3% return. You could have took that trade and then exited here because that's my target, right? Whenever we have a TD9, red 9, even on the green 9, high probability if we go lower to retest it. And then we have indicators that are trending up, giving us bullish divergence. We have oversold indicators, on these time frames. High probability we're gonna bounce. And then if you check this out on the daily, we had a 9 as well. So you have 9s on the hourly and the 4-hour. A 4-hour is giving us a target, so we could take that entry, and then once we get to this. You could have said the target was $25. Really, it's $25.60. We got to it. Once it got there, exit, take your profits, happy, right? But what if I wanted to, make this more than a day trade? What if I wanted to go one more day, since we did technically have a 9? Hold up. I want to show one more thing, though. So how quickly does this respond to 9s If I wanted, okay, we have a 9 here. We went below it. We have a RSI that's below 30. How likely is it to bounce? Well, we had a 9 here. We weren't below 30, but price bounced. And then we had one here. Again, price wasn't below 30, but it bounced. We had a 9 here. Price was below 30. It did go 2 candles down, and then we bounced. How much did this bounce? Say you got it here, 10%, something like that. Say 10%. So kind of similar to what we saw here. We have a 9. We have it sold off twice, but the kicker here is that we have a reversal candle. We have a doji, which is telling us reversal. We had the CMF giving us bullish divergence. We had an oversold RSI. Everything's lining up. My target is 25.60. You could have bought a call option if you wanted, and then if the return here is 3-4% on your call option, you probably would have been somewhere around 15 to 25% return all within the day, which is tremendous. So, but let's see. If I wanted to extend this out another day, post market is already below the 25.60. So maybe tomorrow morning, if you did have a position in, you would just go ahead and exit. But so how do I determine? How can I get a target? Because I always talk about these 1 to 4 candle corrections on 9s. How would I get my target? How does that done if I want to, play this TD9? So here's the way it's done. You use the open and close and high and low of the candles previous and of the candle that you're in. So I'm not sure if you quite understood that, but I'll show it, and I'll show it more than once. So the candle here closed at 25.86. So what's my potential target if I'm having a 1 to 4 candle correction? I'm going to count 4 times using the open and closes and highs and lows of the candles that I have, of the information that I have. So here I'm going to go 1, because this is the next level up. It's the close of the previous 8, so that's at $26. So I'm going to go 1, and then the next high is this one, the high of the 9, 2, 3, 4. So the potential target on the reversal is $28. Now I'll do that again. So I go here. It's 1, 2, 3, 4 right there. So if I wanted to play this 9, say I got in towards the end of the day, my target. Hold up. Right there. No, it was 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see. Did I do that wrong? Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 28 right here. It was the open, I'm sorry. So if I got in here to here, 1 to 2%, say, not a killer trade, but that's how you would play that. If you got in lower, like where I said you could have, that 121, let's just look at what that would be. Let's just go 121.70, and I said $28. This trade could have, in a day, warranted you potentially, 5%. Not knocking it out of the park, but, we had a target here on the 4-hour. We would have got our 3%, and then we can potentially walk away with 2%, two additional percent. Is that 2 additional percent worth, the risk? That's up to you to determine. But if you wanted to hold it for an extra day, that could be it. If you want to sell it tomorrow morning, since it did reach that 25.60 area, as soon as the market opens, you could do that too. And then you walk away, because long term, I'm not in this, I don't see Apple. I'd have to wait and see if this moving average starts to trend back up. Let's go back to Bitcoin, because I did want to do one more thing. So, yeah, if I'm worried about a bear market. So I'm worried about a bear market starting. This was a larger pullback. I'm going to start worrying, or I would exit, especially since we're on, let me pull up the other TD sequential. We are like what I call a bullish, fully extended, we're getting continuous runs. We saw that here in 2017 where we had a 9 and then we continued up for 2 more weeks, and then we had the drop. So if I wanted to, maybe exit, this would have to start to flatten out and then turn over, for me to be worried about that. I don't think we're in the cycle. No, I don't think this was the cycle top. I don't even think this was the double peak top, if we're getting that double peak I keep on talking about. But if, what you would be looking for was, you'd be looking for the intermediate on the daily, which is the 8 moving average, below the 30 moving average, and price below that. So price below the 8, which we have, and then the 8 below the 30. And then once that would happen, then you would exit. So, but price is going to have to come lower. Price is really going to have to be in the lower 40s for that to happen. Our 8 moving average is all the way at 53. It's going to have to drop 10,000. It's going to have to be an aggressive move. I have another, it's called a forecast. So, yeah, it wouldn't be until the 27th, another, 3 days until, we started to see a turn down in the day to where we would potentially start to look as an exit. But I'm not worried about it. Like I said, if the week closes above 40, it also marks the monthly close above 40. Historical price action says once you get a monthly close above 2 times above the prior high, you're never going to go back below that area. I'm ready to say once we close above 40 on the monthly, we'll never see 30. Not quite ready to say 40 yet. We'll never see below 40 again. But historical price action says that. I'm not ready to say it. But yeah, so if we get a price close on Sunday above 40, this area, in hindsight, where it dipped all the way to 44.88, we could go lower on the 4-hour because these areas, high probability of getting retested. We could go lower, but this is going to look like, people will point this out and be like, the 9 on the 4-hour was a perfect buy. You could have bought it here, and that was exactly where it turned. In hindsight, it's going to look like that. But right now, I'm telling you, there's indecision. There is the CMF trending up, or RSI is trending up. There is a little bit of bullishness starting to show up on these smaller time frames. But overall, we did get the pullback. I said 15 to 25% drops. We got looks like around that, 23%. This could be it. We did get a 31.5% a couple weeks ago. We still could go lower. What would that be? What would a 30% drop be? 30% pullback would be around lower 40s, still above 40,000 though. And then a 40% drop would be, would bring us all the way back to 34. We would retest this area, not even get close to the previous all-time high, which is still great. I mean, yeah, this would suck, but we could get all the way back down to here and still keep our overall trend up, and still, see good price action moving forward. But I would like to see consolidation. If we consolidate for, at least another 2 weeks, I'd be happy with it. Let's look at the S&P, because I said that there was sell-off. The Fed chairman, I might have mentioned this at the beginning, but I can't remember. Fed Chairman Powell came out today and said they're not even thinking about raising interest rates until they see inflation at 2% consistently for a little bit. They didn't give exactly how long a little bit was or an extended amount of time was, but that kind of reassured the markets. We did get the sell-off. You can see it on the daily 4-hour here. That could be a signal of a reversal candle. Let's look at the smaller time frames. Oh, we got a 9. Look at that. The 8, this potentially could be the low, right? If the 8 is as low as the 6 and the 7, that could be your low, even though we did print a 9. That looks like a reversal doji to me. Let's see what it looked like on the hourly. Not 2-hour hourly. 3, nothing really. But yeah, so let's look at the overall trend in there, and it's probably fine. Fine. This is starting to flatten, so we need to watch it. You can kind of see here, Corona. It had kind of peaked, and then we started, seeing the fall. People are going to say you couldn't have predicted this. We did get a retest, and then we went up 2 weeks. But let's look back at it. February 18th. There was signal. There was signal that we were topping. Yep, right there. Boom. 9. Right? So we had the 9. We retested this one as soon as, and look, we even retested this one. So if you wanted to kind of hold fast and stay in your position, you could have held through a because once it closed below this price, you're out. So you could have held through a 5% drop, and then you would have exited. You would have just said, I have to exit my position. We had a 9. You wouldn't have exited really all of your position, especially if you're trading this 30 MA. But sometimes you got to be mindful, right? This 30 MA would have actually gotten you out. I mean, this 3 simple moving average on the weekly would have gotten you out right at the bottom, which is not good. But since we were in an extended market, what did I say? Price below the 8, below the 30. That's where you would have exited, and that would have been a good. So price below the 8, and then 8 below the 30. So that would have got you out here. Right there. You could have exited 100% your S&P position at 31,116 on this day, and that would have saved you from another 30% drop. But yeah, you would have, from your high, you would have, eaten an 8% drop, but that's better than eating another 30% drop, right? Sometimes you got to take a loss to save your capital. Capital preservation is the most important. So yeah, what are we doing here? Let's use the same basis, right? Price below the 8. 8 has to be below the 30 MA on the daily. If you really wanted to exit, your total position, this is flattening, so just be mindful of it. If we get back down here and we have a red 2 closing, so like a red number closing above a prior red number, closing below this red number and below the 9, that's bullish. I mean, that's bearish. You're probably going to get back down to 35.80, 35.93, something like that. I did say we're going to go over TLRY real quick. TLRY, we did get a retest of the daily, 24.75. We did get a rally. This is kind of a reversal. Okay, now I'm going to take this. Let me show you how good these actually are. So right here, this is all the way back from October 28th, 2019. You would think price action here is just irrelevant. Well, look at this. Yeah, we went lower. But where did price close? Price closed at 24.79, and that retest area was 24.75. So 4 cents, right? This thing got you within 4 cents. And these, it just shows past, people like, past price action or does not, determine future returns or something like that. I mean, but these can be areas where you can see levels of support. And I mean, what is it? It's all human psychology, trading psychology, right? It's called human action, right? So yeah, this was the breakout. This was an area, and you can look at this. This is a 9. This is a breakout area. And as soon as we broke above it, oddly, right, we had a 7, close above the 6, closing above a prior green 9, set all the way back from October 2019, still had relevance. And then, we consolidated and then it broke up. In 2021, in 2019, did I know anything that was going to go on with, GameStop or Wall Street bets? No. It's like, card reading or something. I don't know. But even this 9 was an area of retest, and we did eventually retest it. And then we broke out from it. We hit the 9, we consolidated, and we broke out. So, yeah, these 9s are good. I use them. It works. I'm going to take this off my chart because that got retested. Next retest area is 1947. But we did get, we got a 7. I think we got an exhaustion. We got a 9 here. You could have bought the 9 and you'd be up. We're kind of looking, how much would you be up if you bought the 9? 5%. Better than that Apple trade. This moves a lot faster, but, I did want to show that Apple trade because this is a good example. Let's look at AMC. TLRY. Okay, what's the outlook? Yeah, I mean, we're kind of trending down. We had an 8. We can rally back up and print a 9. We would have to close above 25.72. Maybe if you enter a trade, a short-term trade, and we fail to get above this hourly for the weekly, or if we do get above the hourly for the weekly, that'd be awesome. And then next week we could rally. We could have a 9, a big week. Maybe we get back here, $33 or something like that. Do the indicators suggest that? I'm just going to look at CMF. Let's look at the hourly. I mean, yeah, look at that. I mean, I keep on talking about this divergence stuff. Sometimes it just works. sell off. We're getting massive bullish divergence. You can take a position. I mean, we printed a 9. The 8 was a reversal candle. We had the 9 still. Could have got in here. We could go back here to 2308. 4 hour, it's kind of flat. You could just trade this on the 1 hour. If we get here and we fail to close above it, we get a red number below a prior red number, and we break down maybe below this gap, this 26.25. You would sell, but then you got in at 23. 26 would give you, I don't know, somewhere. Say you don't get that, maybe 25. 10%. So, trading's, I say it, dynamic, not static. So yeah, that's TLRY. Outlook, I haven't heard much on the MORE Act. No news sometimes is good news, but no news for this, even though that's fundamental, where we're trying to do TA. Let's take the trade as it is. You entered there with the bullish divergence on the 4 hour. We rally. If price fails, you can exit if you got in, based on all those retest areas. 24.75, this was at 27. Maybe you don't make that up, but maybe you break even if you had started to scale in. We'll see how it goes. We'll see where it goes. All right, next thing, AMC, because AMC trade's been doing well. So we have, on the daily, we got continuous counts up. Here we're at a 6, 7, 8, 9, right? That could be Thursday. The market open, maybe we get all the way back up to 10. I say my target's 1290. We're on a 9 here. We could come back here and retest, but we're consolidating. We have a green number above a prior green number. That's what this is, technically. Let's see. So yeah, we could go up. That's a resistance area. Once we break above that, we can go higher. So that's the AMC trade. I mean, if you really wanted to be conservative and not get out of your trade, you could, if you would have got in here, you would be up 30-something%. You could wait until you get back to your 30 MA if you wanted to. You still make 9%, 10%. Up to you on how you make the trade. If we have a red number close above a prior red number below the low of this 9, that's 670. You could get out. That'd give you maybe 15 to 20%. So, but yeah, so that's about it. Silver, I'll do silver real quick. Frustrating silver. Breakout. Oh, actually, it's not that frustrating. So we had the breakout area, broke out, came back, retested it, found support. This might be the week where we take off and hit the target of 32. We'll see. And that would be a, what? 17% potentially. So, but that's about it. So, like I said, if you have any comments, leave them in the comments, or stocks that you want me to kind of look at and maybe give my analysis. Again, not investment advice, just my opinion. But thanks for watching.